Okay, so if you hear the tap, 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 it means I just got out of a tearjerker. It's not rain, it just means that the sky is crying. So, rain. It's been a while since I've done one like this. I haven't done a solo midnight screenings review in quite a while, though probably not as long as these reviews have stopped being actually at midnight. I was the only one to actually go see this movie, but actually a difference between now and before when I did a couple of these solo is technically I'm not alone because I've got all of you guys with me. But to get to some house cleaning first, we do have a couple of cons coming up. We're doing C2E2 in Chicago from the 22nd through the 24th. Also, Wizard World St. Louis, we're doing April 5th through the 7th. And the cool thing about that one is we're actually, the Saturday of that con in Wizard World St. Louis, we're actually doing a screening of Jesus Bro. We'll be doing the first public screening we've had for it at any kind of event like this. So I'll be there. Ryan will be there with me as well. We'll be doing a Q&A afterwards. So if you want tickets to the event, to the convention, go to wizardworld.com and use our promo code Cinema20. And we've also added another tier as well over on our Patreon. If you do the $15 level over on our Patreon, you get a personalized message from the Cinema Snob. So look into that. That's at patreon.com/thecinemasnob. And follow us on Twitter at the Cinema Snob as well. Now, I didn't realize I was going to be doing this one by myself until about 20 minutes before this screening started. And so it was going to be me and Ryan originally at this movie, but he got a little sick and couldn't make it out. And I wasn't even going to ask Laura because she's like hacking up a lung too, which is actually really ironic considering the movie that I went to go see. I really could have said like, honey, I know you're spitting up a lot right now and hacking up a lung and everything. Really, it's quite appropriate to review 5 feet apart. and Sarah's really sick now too. I'm honestly not sick at all. I'm quite fine. Laura caught the con flu from Wizard World Cleveland last weekend, but I've been doing conventions for so long that I've completely got an immunity to it. Laura's sitting there like, how did this happen? I washed my hands and everything. I'm the one sick. You never wash your hands and you're fine. I'm like, honey, it's like slowly drinking the poison every day. I'm immune to this. I don't get sick from that anymore. There's a couple reasons why it's also appropriate that I'm reviewing this one alone as well, because I'm at an advanced screening for this movie. The movie actually doesn't come out till tomorrow, I think. I think they're doing the Thursday night preview thing, but then it officially comes out on Friday. So I was at what was called like a fan event for this film, and the movie started with an intro from the director, who's Jason Boldani. He directed this film. It starts with an intro from him in which he is in his car with a camera on the dashboard, maybe something like this that I'm doing right now. I'm like, oh, well, I might as well be reviewing this in a car by myself because the director of this film is introing the movie to me on the big screen in his car with a camera on the dashboard in a parking lot where you can see like people walking by and shit. Plus, one of the main characters in this film is also a YouTube blogger, and there's several scenes in this movie where she's on YouTube live streaming and talking to the camera. Fate stepped in and made everybody else sick for me to be talking about this movie by myself. If you don't know this film, this one called 5 Feet Apart with Haley Lou Richardson, I believe is her name, and Cole Sprouse. It's kind of funny that there's now like a genre for this kind of movie. So this is the one where they both have cystic fibrosis, and yes, I did have to write that down. They have cystic fibrosis, and they can't be within about 6 feet from each other. They constantly have neuralizers with them, hacking up phlegm and everything, and if they get any closer than that, then there's the potential to get bacteria. It could kill them. It's another one of those dying sick teenager movies. There's been a lot, which is why Sarah was the first one I asked to go see this, because she and I have seen like all of these movies together. So there was Fault in Our Stars, there was Everything, Midnight Sun. Am I forgetting a couple? Besides those? I don't know if I'd count Life Itself. That movie had a little bit of everything, so so Life Itself could really fit multiple genres. That could even fit the genre of a one-man play if you just go by the first minute. The wheelchair movie. Me Before You. I think that's what it was called. So okay, it is another one of those kind of movies. So you kind of know what you're getting into with this kind of film. You know it's there's gonna be sad moments in it. There's gonna be happy moments in the film. You know that like, it really sets up the types that these characters are. Oh yeah, the Mars movie too. Space Between Us. That one took it to space. This one's a little bit more grounded. You know that you kind of see what the types are going to be in this movie, where she's the one who's eternally optimistic. Like she's a happy YouTuber. She is finding the good in about everything she sees, or the good news. Like every day's a blessing, like that type. And you find out more information about her later, where it's sort of a survivor's guilt situation that she's also going through. You see why she has this drive to want to keep surviving and keep being optimistic about it, considering a tragedy that happened in her past. Meanwhile, he's the one who's far more cynical and is like, well, yeah, I'm gonna die anyway. I play by my own rules. No one else's, not even my own. Like a Fault in Our Stars kind of thing. What makes this movie... I'll give it this about the film. One thing, and I thought this from the trailer as well, that one thing I like is that in this one, the two actors do look really, really sick. Like, yeah, they look like, you know, attractive leads in a teen romance, but really, really sick, attractive leads in a teen romance. I've seen a lot of movies like this where the characters will have, like, not seen the sunlight in however many years and can't go outside, and they still look like a perfect 10. Like, this one, I'm like, all right, they're taking steps to really... I buy that they have this. I buy that these characters are this sick. Even, like, little things, like, you know, disheveled hair, the circles under the eyes. There's parts where they take clothes off and they're just like covered in scars from different surgeries that they've had. I enjoyed that about the movie. Overall, you know, I did like this film. It's one that, it's certainly better than Midnight Sun, Everything, and a few of the others Sarah and I have seen. It's one of those movies that it's giving you a lot of things you've seen before, even in this type of movie of the dying teen romance movie. It's just doing it pretty well. It's familiar territory, but it's good at that. And one thing that makes it very, very good at that is the two leads. The two leads are fantastic in this movie. I mainly know of Cole Sprouse from Ben Geller, and I think that was Cole Sprouse in Friends. I had to pause, like, wait, is it him or Dylan? I can't remember. He's really good in this movie. They do have very good chemistry together in the film, especially considering it's a movie about them not being able to get within like 5 feet of each other. So their conversations are good in the movie. Their back and forths are. Their chemistry's solid. I mean, the movie is directed by an actor, a guy who's had acting experience. So he is very good at directing the actors in the film. And as the movie was going on, the thing I was enjoying about it is how 99% of it is taking place in the hospital. they really kind of, because they practically live there, the characters do, they really kind of have to set up their whole world inside this hospital and make the most of it. Like a film that, like, it's all kind of taking place in one building or one area, and they just kind of have to... it's the Terminal of sick kids movies, or the Dawn of the Dead of sick kids movies, or The Breakfast Club. There's even a part in the movie where the nurse might as well be the principal from The Breakfast Club in one scene where they have to escape and get back to their room before she finds them. So I was enjoying about it, and when it got later in the movie, I say 99% of this movie is all in the hospital, and I was appreciating that about the film. It's a well-made movie. It makes the most of mostly taking place in this location, because for that 1% where it does go outside the hospital, which is towards the end of the film, it gets bonkers. It doesn't quite go off the rails necessarily, but it definitely hits like a sheep, and the train has to stop and, you know, clean up a little bit before it continues. I'm not going to give anything away about the movie, but there are some boneheaded things that happen when they leave the hospital of this movie. I'm not going to spoil this film, but I wasn't really expecting like a prequel to the movie Breakthrough to happen in this. I wasn't really necessarily expecting there to be a scene involving a lake of ice. When I got towards the end, one of the biggest takeaways I got from this movie was like, I don't know, this movie is showing me the lesson of like, hey, if you're dying, you better not fall in love or shit's gonna get really, really fucked. So really, it's best you just keep to yourself and be alone. But I was impressed, though, by when I saw the trailer for this movie, and they keep saying throughout the trailer, you need to be 6 feet apart, you need to be 6 feet apart, 6 feet apart, 6 feet apart. And I'm like, okay, well, that's probably the title. Then it's like 5 feet apart. I'm like, the lines in the trailer are really kind of disagreeing with your title, but thankfully they do explain that in the movie. And it was shorter than I didn't know how long this movie was going to be. So when I had it pulled up on my phone, because I got the tickets in advance, since this is like this fan screening thing going on. I got the tickets in advance, and it was showing like a 2 hour and 20-minute runtime. I looked at that and I went, whoa, this is an app that I don't normally use, so is that factoring in trailers? How is this movie 2 hours and 20 minutes long? You set me up with this nice love story. It's gonna reach a point where I'm kind of tired and hope someone dies. It's not 2 hours and 20 minutes long. There was a thing after the movie that was showing behind-the-scenes footage and interviews with the actors. Also, I saw beforehand that it was like a little under 2 hours when I was on the movie's IMDb page to pull a poster from it. So it is kind of relieving when a movie turns out to be, no matter if it's like good or not, when it turns out to be a half an hour shorter because you were worried it might turn out to be too long, a 2 hour and 20-minute film. When I go into this movie, because I'm like, I didn't get the message that I was going to be seeing this by myself until 20 minutes before the movie started. And since this was, normally I probably would have been like, all right, I can see it over the weekend or sometime, but it's rare we get this advance of a screening here in town. Plus, I haven't done something like this in a while, so why the hell not? Can refreshing on talking by myself to the camera, unscripted. I've been in a few of these before, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just go in and go see this. And there was a couple mistakes that were made even before this. I originally thought the movie was last night, so I was at the theater last night and was like, it's such a secret screening, it's not even on the board up there. Looked at my phone, oh shit, it's tomorrow. Quickly text Ryan, hey man, the movie's tomorrow. I was considering driving to Lincoln, Illinois, which is about 30 minutes away, to see Run the Race, the religious movie that's out, but there wouldn't have been enough time. So I just went home. And so when I went in there by myself, I was like, I've been at some of these advanced ones before like this. Like, we were at Love, Simon like a week early, and it was like packed to the brim with people in there. I'm like, am I gonna walk in there by myself? I'm wearing sweatpants right now. I'm wearing sweatpants, this con shirt and everything. Like, am I gonna just be this dude just sitting there wildly out of place? Though maybe not as out of place as I looked in the Trump prophecy screening. No, I walked in there, and there was like one other person in there. I walked in, there was just like a lady in the middle of the theater by herself. She's sitting there by herself. I walk in there, my, disorganized ass walking in there by myself. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I feel slightly embarrassed. Now this looks like just the world's dumbest meet cute and the saddest rom-com. Plus, I'm married. I shouldn't be in this story anyway. If a few other people showed up, one guy fell asleep on his girlfriend, like, not far from me. Though how ironic some of the things have been turning out about this screening, maybe he died. That's the twist. Someone in the audience died. I'm usually expecting one of the characters in the movie to die at this point. It really kind of got me in this one, killing off a member of the audience. He was my favorite audience member, too. So, no, the movie, you know what? The movie's fine. It's a solid enough date movie. In this genre of the dying kids movies, it's one of the better ones. It's up there with Fault in Our Stars, which I remember liking that one a lot when it came out. It's better. It's way better than a lot of the ones here recently. It's way better than the Mars one, the Space Between Us. It's better than Midnight Sun or Everything. The actors are really solid enough to carry it. It's a well-made movie. They do a lot with it taking place mostly in kind of one location. So I enjoyed it. It's a good movie to go out and see, like, on a date or something like that. All right, so I can't believe I talked 17 minutes on this. Well, really, I probably just talked 7 minutes about the movie. The rest of it was probably promoting conventions and talking about going in there by myself to this teen date movie. So, okay, well, we got some other screenings coming up this week. We're going to be at Wonder Park and Captive State tomorrow, which is a movie I didn't even know existed until a week ago. So Captive State and Wonder Park we got tomorrow. There's a Nancy Drew movie coming to Springfield. It's not getting shown tomorrow, but it is coming out on Friday. So I think we're going to try to see that too. So, all right. Thanks a bunch for watching, everyone. Follow us on Twitter at The Cinema Snob. Subscribe to us here, youtube.com/Stone Gremlin Productions. Thanks for watching me ramble, and I'll talk to you soon.